Indifference towards a narcissist, what really happens when you stop reacting. Have you ever felt that inner tension, that gnawing doubt, whispering whether you're doing the right thing by ignoring the narcissist? Have you ever asked yourself what really happens when you stop reacting, stop explaining, stop justifying? Maybe someone told you that indifference is cruel. Maybe part of you still hopes they'll get it, change, come back transformed. But here's the truth. Choosing indifference isn't about hurting them. It's about finally choosing you. In this video, we'll uncover why indifference towards a narcissist is one of the most powerful ways to break free from their control. You'll discover what truly goes on in their mind and ego when you stop giving them your energy, attention, or reactions. And more importantly, you'll understand why this quiet, firm choice marks the beginning of your emotional detachment and your deeper spiritual transformation. Stay with us until the end, because you're not here just for answers. You're here to change your life. This is Chosen One's Awakening, the channel of solutions. This is where healing begins. Subscribe to Chosen One's Awakening only if you're ready to finally choose yourself. But don't do it if you're still just surviving in toxic relationships. If you're only here out of curiosity. If you're still trying to understand but not ready to act, then don't subscribe. Because knowing all of this and then doing nothing would be meaningless. But if you are ready, truly ready, this is your first real step toward emotional freedom from narcissists. Subscribe now and begin. The hidden power of indifference. The word indifference may seem cold, distant, almost cruel. But when you talk about a manipulative narcissist, indifference becomes a tool of salvation. It is what happens inside you when you stop looking for answers where there are only lies, when you give up the hope that sooner or later he will understand, change, regret. The narcissist feeds on your emotions. It doesn't matter if positive or negative. The important thing is that you react for him. Your every reaction is a confirmation of his power. He watches you cry and feels important. He sees you angry and knows he still has you in his grip. He hears you explain, justify yourself, defend yourself. And inside, he smiles, not because he loves you, but because he controls you. When you become indifferent, you take away his fuel. It's like turning off the engine of the car he's been driving for years. Your mind, your heart, your life. Indifference to the narcissist is the end of the game, and for him, it's unacceptable. Because without you reacting, he no longer knows who he is. This is what really happens when you stop responding. The narcissist loses the boundaries of his own identity, and that's where yours begins. But be careful. Being indifferent doesn't mean closing your heart. It doesn't mean becoming cold or inhuman. It means stopping offering attention to someone who has made manipulation an art form. It's an act of self-preservation. It's a way of saying, enough. I no longer let myself be used. I no longer allow my energy to be sucked away to feed your emptiness. Many in this phase feel strong feelings of guilt. They think they have become bad. They think they do not have enough empathy. But this is precisely the trap. The narcissist has educated you to feel responsible for everything, even for his anger, even for his unhappiness, even for his discomfort. Indifference breaks this pattern, and it gives you back what was taken from you, your right to no longer participate. And here is where true spiritual transformation begins. When you stop fighting to be seen by those who never really wanted to see you. When you choose silence not to punish, but to protect yourself. When you understand that you no longer have to explain who you are, but simply be it. Indifference is the first boundary, the first sacred wall between you and manipulation. It is not revenge. It is healing. It is not coldness. It is dignity. Why ignoring a narcissist works. Ignoring a narcissist is effective because it deprives them of exactly what they want most: control over your inner world. The narcissist needs to be seen, heard, felt, even hated if necessary. As long as you keep circling them, their worst nightmare is not being criticized, but being neglected. Indifference hurts them more than any attack. When you choose not to answer, he finds himself faced with something he hadn't expected. Your silence becomes a puzzle he can't decipher. He begins to wonder what's happening to you, if you have someone, if you've changed, if you've understood. In reality, doesn't care about you. He cares about the void he left and that he suddenly can't fill. It's unacceptable to him that you're okay without his approval. Your silence tells him that you're no longer his, and that sends him into a tailspin. His mind works in a binary way. Either he owns you or you are cheating on him. He knows no gray areas. He cannot conceive that you can distance yourself without a motivation related to him. That is why he will do everything to reactivate you. He may suddenly show regret, send sweet messages, pretend to be hurt. Or he may accuse you, insult you, provoke you. Two sides of the same coin. The goal is always the same, to get a reaction back. But if you remain firm in your choice, if you stop feeding the toxic dynamic, something changes inside him. And above all, something changes inside you. Because the real effect is not only on him, it is on you. Ignoring a narcissist has an effect because it gives you back power, because it teaches you that you no longer need to be explained to be valid, because it frees you from the invisible cage of emotional dependence. In this process, a form of awakening also begins. You begin to see the things you previously justified. You begin to feel how much you had neglected yourself to chase someone who would never change. You begin to understand that everything he read as coldness was actually just your first act of love towards yourself. Not responding does not mean closing your heart. It means opening it to you. Not saying anything does not mean being weak. It means becoming inviolable. It is at that moment that you truly begin to dominate the relationship, not because you control him, but because he finally no longer controls you. What happens in the narcissist's mind when you disappear? When you disappear from a narcissist's life without explanation, without a scene, without resentment, something deeply disturbing happens in his inner world. Because the narcissist doesn't fear the breakup, he fears the lack of explanation. He doesn't fear abandonment, but the fact that you no longer need him. Your silence isn't just silence. It's an affront to his identity. A complex, almost infantile sequence is activated inside the narcissist's mind. The first impulse is disorientation. He doesn't understand. He's used to dominating the scene, to being the epicenter of other people's emotions. Your lack of reaction is like a power vacuum. He wonders, why isn't he responding? Who is he with? What is he thinking? Has he found someone? Doubt consumes him more than anger. Then comes a phase of destabilization. The narcissist's ego begins to crack. If before he was sure he could manipulate you, now that certainty wavers. He begins to think that you are getting over him, that you are forgetting him, and he can't accept it. Because for him, even a relationship that is over must remain suspended, with the possibility of returning. The narcissist experiences every relationship as a territory to be kept under control, even from a distance. The fact that you don't respond, that you disappear, that you no longer even try to make him see reason, is what sends him off track. In this phase, he can stage anything. He can show himself happy with another person to provoke you. He can pretend he never looked for you. He can block and unblock, write to you and then delete. These are signals, but not of strength. They are signals of loss of power. And that's where you have to hold the line. Because if you go back in that moment, he won't learn anything. He won't change. He'll just pick up where he left off. But if you stay still, if you keep choosing absence, something powerful happens. The narcissist, for the first time, is forced to look at himself, and there's no one there to manipulate. Just a void he doesn't know how to fill. And it's in that void that the true strength of your detachment begins to manifest itself. Indifference doesn't hurt him physically, but it completely disarms his strategy. It takes away every lever, every trick, every power. And in the midst of his mental chaos, while he's desperately trying to figure out how to regain control, you're already somewhere else. You're already rebuilding yourself without him. The trap of reconquest. When the narcissist realizes that you are really going away, that you are not only angry but distant, silent, disconnected, then his most dangerous move is made, the reconquest. But be careful. It is not a reconquest for love. It is a reconquest to regain power. Many confuse the return of the narcissist with a sign of repentance. But if you observe carefully, his behavior never really changes. He changes the mask. He can suddenly appear sweet, caring, present. He tells you that he understands, that this time is different, that he cannot live without you. But deep down, the only real reason why he came back is that he cannot tolerate the idea that you are fine without him. The manipulative narcissist doesn't love you. He loves the effect he has on you. When you no longer give it to him, he tries to rebuild it. He studies you. He observes you. He reprograms his gestures, his words, even his tone of voice, to reactivate that old emotional script in you. And if you are not centered, if you have not yet completed your spiritual transformation, you could fall, because his return is calibrated to measure for your wounds. The trap of reconquest is insidious because it presents itself as a second chance. But in reality, it is only the second half of the same game, and often more dangerous. Because now he knows where to hit you. He knows what words to use. He knows what promises to make. But you know something he doesn't. You know what you felt when you felt empty, confused, guilty for no reason. And that truth, if you remain lucid, saves you. You don't have to explain yourself. You don't have to convince him that you're no longer there. You just have to be consistent with your silence. Not answering is a powerful statement. It says, words are no longer enough for me. It says, you are no longer the center of my life. It says, I choose me now. And that choice, that calm, full of determination, is what the narcissist can't manipulate. Because he is no longer your tormentor. He is just a man who has lost his power over you. And you, for the first time, don't feel the need to point it out to him. Because finally, you don't care anymore. If what you are listening to is opening your eyes, if in these words you are finding strength, clarity, and confirmation, then know that you are not alone. This space exists to accompany you in your awakening, in your spiritual transformation, in your inner liberation. You can support our work with a super thank you. It is a simple but powerful gesture. Every contribution allows us to reach more people, to create more tools, to make the voices of those who have not had one for too long heard. It is the way to say, I am here, and I want others to be there too. Thank you if you choose to do so, and thank you, in any case, for being here. How to deal with a manipulative narcissist without losing yourself. Managing a manipulative narcissist does not mean learning to control him. It means learning to no longer let him control you. It is not a strategy to get something from him. It is a process to no longer lose yourself. And this process is not made of complicated techniques, but of deep, coherent, firm choices. It is made of conscious silences, clear boundaries, mature emotional detachments. The first rule is this: never argue with a narcissist. Every confrontation becomes an arena in which you lose, even when you think you are right. Because he does not seek the truth, he seeks victory. And to win, he will use every word you say against you. His logic is not based on facts, but on control. Every attempt at clarification feeds him. Every reaction strengthens him. You must do something different. Exit the scene. Don't participate. Stop explaining yourself. Your energy should not be wasted trying to make yourself understood by those who do not want to understand. It should be invested in understanding yourself, in healing your wounds, in building your freedom. The second rule: do not seek justice. The narcissist will never admit his guilt. He will never acknowledge the pain he has caused you. And the more you try to make him see it, the more he will make you seem exaggerated, unstable, vindictive. This destroys you. It drains you. It makes you doubt yourself. So stop. Stop expecting anything from him. Not because you are not worthy, but because being worthy means stopping waiting for confirmation from those who have denied you everything. Finally, the third rule: do not go back. Even if you miss him, even if he seems changed, even if loneliness is scary, because every time you come back, you lose a piece of yourself. And every time you will get up a little more tired, a little more disheartened, a little more distant from yourself. Dealing with a manipulative narcissist means protecting your inner space. It is a spiritual act. It is a silent revolution. It is choosing peace over conflict, truth over drama, freedom over dependence every day. It is not easy, but it is possible, and every step you take in that direction brings you home. Now that you understand what truly happens when you choose indifference towards a narcissist, you carry a new responsibility: never going back. Not to them, but to the version of you who tolerated, who waited, who explained, begged, and blamed herself for every cruel reaction. You're no longer that person, and you never have to be again. From this moment on, you know that indifference is not a lack of love, it's self-love. That silence isn't emptiness, it's protection. That emotional detachment isn't coldness, it's healing. And that spiritual transformation begins the day you stop trying to change them and start choosing you. Subscribe to Chosen One's Awakening if you want weekly insights to help you break old emotional chains, recognize hidden manipulation, and walk away from toxic relationships with clarity and strength. And become a member if you want to be part of a safe space, a community that doesn't judge but understands, a place where you are no longer alone, a space where your rebirth becomes possible. This is your moment, the moment you stop reacting and start choosing. The moment you stop waiting and start living. With love, we're with you, always.